Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Bhagavatam class. So we are done with Ishopanishad. Now we will do couple of weeks of Srimad Bhagavatam. And very nice topic. I will tell you the reason why I selected this topic. So we will go through this. But before we go through the Bhagavatam, we will go through the Mangalacharan prayers. So let us get started with Mangalacharan. So let me share my screen here and then we will start with Mangalacharan. Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Okay, very nice. So since we are in the Bhagavatam topic today, let us recite the invocation verses for Srimad Bhagavatam after a while. So please, yeah, we can recite these. So our deep obeisances and respects to Srila Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, and then Sri Suta Goswami and Shaunak Adi Rishi. And then Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraet
Tato Jayamudirayet
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir
Bhagavat Uttama Sloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishthiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nandagopakumaraya
Nandagopakumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Right, thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay, so we will get started with our topic for today. I am very super excited about this topic. I hope you can all see it on your screens. Let me increase the screen size. Okay. Let me adjust this. Oops. It's very, very fine adjustment. Okay. All right. So, oops. The topic is Navadha Bhakti, the 9 processes of devotional service or bhakti. It's a very, very important topic. And many of you might have heard of these 9 processes, but we will go into slight more detail based on the commentaries of previous acharyas, the prominent ones whom I have taken the material from or copied the material, repeating just the words of previous acharyas. Srila Prabhupada, of course, first and foremost. He has written a very long commentary. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Sri Jiva Goswami has a very big commentary on this. Srila Prabhupada's commentary is based on Sri Jiva Goswami's commentary, and many, many senior devotees. And one of the ones whom I have relied on a lot for various points is His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu. So all glories to acharyas and senior devotees. So the reason I selected this topic of Navadha Bhakti is because the current batch of Bhagavad Gita that we are doing on Fridays, which many of you may be aware, is coming to an end. We completed chapter 16. 2 verses are left, but almost complete. And then 2 more chapters are left, 17 and 18. And in general, there's this big question. We say, engage yourself in devotional service, do bhakti, or inculcate the mood of bhakti. So what does it mean to do bhakti? What should I do after I leave the class? Now what? What do I actually do? What is the meaning of bhakti? Engage in bhakti, we say. So what is bhakti? So I thought it is a nice, it would be a nice discussion or a way for people to get a better understanding of what is bhakti. There are many, this is not the only way. There are so many descriptions. There are so many ways to understand what is bhakti. But one of the very prominent ways is to understand the Navadha Bhakti, or the 9 processes of devotional service, which has been summarized by Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto. Almost 80% of 7th canto is the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashyap, and most importantly, Lord Sri Nrsingadev. More important than Nrsingadev is Prahlad Maharaj. Devotee is more important than Bhagavan. So in the 7th canto, 5th chapter, so this is still the 5th chapter. So Hiranyakashipu has not yet been killed. And this is the situation, or the story is where Hiranyakashipu has sent his son, dear son Prahlad, to the school to learn all the materialistic things, politics, and how to kill others and how to become the next king. So he asks Prahlad, what is the best thing you have learned in the school? So the response that Prahlad Maharaj gives to his father is the following. So this Navadha Bhakti is the response of Prahlad. He was expecting Prahlad to say, oh, I have learned how to lie, how to cheat, how to manipulate, how to kill others, how to get my way. And that would have made Hiranyakashipu very happy that, yes, he's following the footsteps of his father. But he had a shock of his life when he heard these two verses, very, very famous verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, verse numbers 23 and 24. So please try to repeat these verses. These are very, very potent verses. We have many verses we can look into, which we might repeat. So we'll start with these two. So this is Prahlad Maharaj's reply to what is the best thing he has learned in the school. So obviously this was not taught to him by the demoniac teachers. He considered his school to be all the teachers that have been there in the past who have taught him. So his vision of the school was much broader. And of course, he had his first instructions when he was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, from Narad Muni. So that is what he considered his school. So in that broad definition of school, he answers this, that this is the best thing I have learned. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam
Smaranam Padasevanam
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam
Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam
Satyam Atmanivedanam.
Satyam Atmanivedanam.
So would somebody like to read the translation? We'll go with the room. Yes, Sukirtana. Very nice name for today's class, Kirtana. Loud and clear, maybe so that it can come into the speaker, into the microphone over here. Come here, come, quick, run. Run and come. Sit here.
Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words.
So this is continued. So we will read the next verse. So Prahlad Maharaj starts with the 9 processes, and then he says, Iti pumsarpita Vishnu
Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu
Bhaktischena Navlakshana
Bhaktischena Navalakshana
Priyeta Bhagavatyadha
Priyeta Bhagavatyadha
Tanmanye Dhitamuttamam.
Tanmanye Dhitam Uttamam.
So somebody on Zoom could read, please read the translation.
These 9
Yeah.
processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So these are the 9 processes of devotional service. And these processes are meant for all the people. Pumsha Arpita Vishnu. Pumsha means all the humanity, all the human beings. So all the human beings, whoever offer Arpita to Vishnu, these 9 processes, they are supposed to be the most intelligent people. So in short, so what are these 9 processes again? Shravanam, Kirtanam of Lord Vishnu, and Smaranam. So Vishnu, the word, applies to all 3. Smaranam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, and Atma Nivedanam. So we will look at the quick summary of these 9 processes of devotional service. So we start with Shravanam. So attentively hearing. Shravana means to hear, but attentively hearing, not passively hearing while we are, mind is focused completely elsewhere. So we will see what is the meaning of focusing the mind also, hopefully, if we get to that point. With Smaranam, there are various levels of focusing the mind also. But attentively hearing what? So hearing the name, which is Nama, form, Rupa, qualities, the guna, paraphernalia, and devotees. The devotees of the Lord are also paraphernalia of the Lord, instruments. So we are all, or whoever are the devotees are also instruments of the Lord, and so are the paraphernalia. They are known as parakara. So the various paraphernalia and devotees of the Lord, and the charita or the pastimes of the Lord. So name, form, qualities, devotees, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord. That is Sravanam. Attentively hearing all these things. Then next is Kirtanam, which is audibly chanting so that it can be heard by others. All the same things: name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, devotees, and pastimes. Then Smaranam is remembering two things: remembering and mentally serving. Service can also be done through the mind. So the name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, devotees, and pastimes of the Lord. And then there is Pada Sevanam, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. So a important clause that has been added here is according to time, place, and circumstance. Okay, so we do not have access directly to the lotus feet of the Lord. We have access to the holy name. We have the access to the various pastimes of the Lord. So the first three are, one can at least understand that Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam can be done. How do we do Pada Sevanam? So there are many methods described of how practically we can do Pada Sevanam in Kaliyuga. We can serve the lotus feet of the deities of the Lord, or we can serve the lotus feet of the great exalted devotees of the Lord. All that is encompassed within, and we will see more. So all that is encompassed within Pada Sevanam. Then there is Archanam. So Archanam is deity worship, worshipping the deity form of the Lord, Hare Krishna, according to Shastra Vidhi. So this is little more formal, according to certain rules of the scriptures which is given in the Shastra. Then Vandanam is offering prayers to the Lord, various kinds of prayers in various moods. And what are the contents of the prayers? Little bit of this we went through in the Ishopanishad in the last 4 verses. There are the prayers. So we discussed what are contents of prayers, what is the meaning of a prayer. Then there is Dasyam. Dasya means servant of the Lord, but there is a nice twist here which I observed, which is serving Lord Vishnu with the mood that I am the servant. The mood should be, it's not like, we say Dasyam, servant, I am the servant. But there's a nice, this thing, I am the servant, with that mood, always keeping it in mind that I am the servant. I am the servant of the Lord. With that mentality and with that sort of conversation in the mind that I am the servant, one serves the Lord. Sakhyam. So it is Sakhya, not Sakhya. Sakhyam. Sakhya means a friend. Another again nice twist is there. The twist here is taking care of Lord Vishnu's needs. So Lord Vishnu has certain needs, just like a friend. So the Lord protects, the friend protects another friend. The friend makes sure my other friend is happy. If he wants water, I will get him water. Again, this is different from the mood that I am the servant. The mood is I am the friend. And I have to take care of my friend. If you have an old friend, many of you are grown-up people and all of you have gone through college. So, you have college friendships are some of the very strong friendships. So if you have a college friend that comes to your house, your best friend, and you are meeting him, you were like very thick friends, but now you have not met them for 10 years. So how you would treat them? Okay. So in that mood, if he, you'll try to make sure that if he visits you for 2 days, one of my friends came to visit me for exactly 2 days, and I tried to make sure that these 2 days he will never forget. So he should leave feeling that, wow, well spent 2 days. So I tried to do everything possible so that he gets a great time, has a great time, best possible time in those 2 days. So in that way, taking care of the friend, taking care of all of Lord Vishnu's needs. And then Atmanivedanam, surrendering one's everything, mind, body, and words to Lord Vishnu. So this is a summary of the 9 processes of devotional service. Okay, quick summary. Now let us see some salient points. Now we will dive a little bit, peel the layers. So some salient points of Navadha Bhakti, again taken from the commentaries of various acharyas that I mentioned, foremost being Srila Prabhupada, and then Sri Jiva Goswami's commentary has very long, he has given a commentary on this, and senior devotees. So first point that is mentioned is offer before accepting. What it means, I chose those words, but there is a subtle difference here. So for example, if we offer some bhoga to the Lord, so all of us, everybody at least in the room and the Zoom that I can see, offer some bhoga to the Lord. So there can be 2 possible mentalities. One mentality can be, today I want to eat palak paneer. Haven't eaten that for a long time. But so you make palak paneer, and obviously because one is a devotee, one offers the palak paneer to the Lord, and then honors, then has it, correct? Which means that at least mentally you had the conception that I want to have palak paneer today. And then obviously later on you made it, and you made it very nicely, in a very sattvic way, after taking bath and in a clean, with external cleanliness, internal cleanliness, all that is there. It was also not here that while you are cooking, you're always thinking, oh, jaldi se, quickly, I will just somehow serve the Lord. Very nicely you served the Lord, but then you ate, but there was that initial thought that I want to have. So that thought should completely go away. So through one way or the other, somehow one thinks, what may the Lord want to eat today? Maybe you were reading some shastra, some Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita or something, and you were inspired by, oh, in that pastime I was reading, the Lord was having some poha. Or maybe you were reading the Sudama pastime, but Sudama was poor and he could only offer poha. So let me offer nice poha today to the Lord. So with that mood, then you make poha, and later on, of course, you honor it. But the starting point was driven by the Lord, his pleasure, rather than thinking what I want to eat today. So that is a very important point. So removing all such desires for accepting, first offer, then accept. Okay. So many places this can be done, even in hearing. One may think, or chanting, today I want to sing this tune. Today I want to sing that tune. There is something that I want this tune. Oh, today, the crowd of the kirtan is little young crowd. So let me do fast kirtan today. There can be some material desire. All that should be gone. In the purest level, highest level, that is gone. That is the meaning of the first line. Second line, now some of these may be related, only for the pleasure of the Lord. So like it is a same thought, but here the point is not even moksha. So this is in the most in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, not even moksha, nothing, absolutely nothing, not even a spiritual liberation, which is moksha, is I'm not doing it for that. One should have that mood only for the pleasure of the Lord. Whether he gives me moksha or he does not give me moksha, that is his problem. My only thought is what he wants, what will please him. Then another point is, these are just some, important points. The third point is, any one of the processes is sufficient. You can do more than one, no problem, but one should not think that the more out of 9 I do, the better it is. How many check boxes I tick. So it's not about increasing the number of check boxes. All of them are equally potent, and even one is sufficient. And the choice, how do you choose between these? That depends on one's ruchi and shraddha. Okay, in English, you would translate it as taste and faith. But again, I don't have much taste for the English words. I like and it conveys ruchi and shraddha. Okay, so every devotee, and it's perfectly fine to have different ruchi or taste and different shraddha. And that's why the Lord has so much variety. It's not one size fits all. And one can perfect all these 9 can lead to perfection. So Lord has given so many options, so many varieties, and within these also there are levels. So there's a whole, metrics. There is no dearth of one to, choose what inspires one to do bhakti. Okay. So next, we will see some examples of great devotees from the scriptures. Now, many of us have read or heard these 9 examples. So I found out in one place the source of these 9 examples as well. And this is given in Sri Padyavali by Srila Rupa Goswami in the 53rd verse. So, Gopal, time for you to come here, please. Need to be. So this is 19 syllables per line, and we will sing it in the proper meter, which is Shadrula Vikriditam, the Shad Goswami Astakam meter. And I am not very good in this, but Gopal has prepared. Yes, please, we will repeat. So how line by line, right?
Sure.
Line by line, we will repeat.
Like 8 times?
No. Choose. You want to think about it? Jor se.
Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bhavad Vyasaki Kirtane
Shri Vishnu
Shri Vishnu Shravane
Bhavad Vyasaki
Parikshita Kirtane
Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prithu Pujane
Prahlad Smare Tarangre Bhajane Lakshmi Prito Pujane
Akrurastvabhivandane Kapipatir Daseta Sakhyarjuna
Akrurastva Vimandane Kapipate Daseta Sakyarjuna
Sarvasvatmanivedana Balirabhut Krishna Tiresham Param
Sarvasvatmani Balirabhut Krishna Tira Esham Param.
Thank you. So what now? Everybody mute. You just sing it once, Gopal.
Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bhavad Vyasaki Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Pritu Pujane Akrurastvabhivandane Kapipatir Dasyeta Sakhyarjuna
Sarvasvatmani vadane balirabhut Krishnaptiresham param.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I don't have a official translation by any acharya or senior devotee yet, so I don't want to translate on my own, but it is fairly, this verse is fairly kind of straightforward, and I have highlighted in blue color all the devotees. So Sravane, Sri Vishnu Sravane. So we'll just read the Sanskrit and it is fairly obvious. So in Shravana, the devotee who perfected Shravana process is Maharaj Parikshit. Then Abhavad Vaiyasaki Kirtane. So Vaiyasaki is another name for Shukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadev. So he perfected Kirtanam. So he spoke continuously with full absorption in Bhagavatam, the Bhagavat Purana, and with full absorption, without eating, sleeping, drinking, anything. Parikshit Maharaj focused on hearing. That is the first line. Then in Smarane, who was the expert who exemplified, embodied Smarana, is Prahlad Maharaj. And then Tad Angri Bhajane. Angri means feet. That's why, like, we had a great devotee who unfortunately passed away, Pankajangri Prabhu. So Pankaja Angri means lotus feet of the Lord. Pankaja Angri. So, Pankaja Angri means lotus feet. So Angri means feet. Angri Bhajana. So who does the bhajan or the service of the lotus feet? Mother Lakshmi. And then Pujane or Archana. The process of Archana is Prithu Maharaj. Prithu or Pujane. And then Abhivandane, the Vandana has been perfected by Akruraji. As soon as he visited or was about to enter Vrindavan to take Lord Krishna to Mathura so that he can complete his purpose, or at least the stated purpose for which he came, to kill Kamsa and all his demons. That purpose could be completed. So Akruraji came to Vrindavan. But it is written in the Bhagavatam that when he was about to enter Vrindavan, he became so mad in a good devotional sense. And he was offering these wonderful prayers to the Lord and to the devotees of the Lord. So that is Akruraji. Who is Kapi Patir? Kapi means monkey. So who perfected Dasye? Hanumanji. So Kapi Patir means the chief monkey. The most, monkey is not the right word, Vanara, but we will just stay with the colloquial monkey term. Kapi Patir is Hanumanji perfected the mood of Dasyam. And then Sakhya is Arjuna, the friend of the Lord. And Sarvasva Atmana, Atma Nivedane is Bali Maharaj, Balir. So these are the devotees who displayed these highest levels of each of these 9 processes. So that is given by Sri Rupa Goswami, has given these examples, which we have heard so many times, but we can see directly from the chief Goswami, our chief, one who draws the line, that this is what he has the final word on Shastra. So that is Rupa Goswami. So he has given this. So now we will go a little bit into the 9 processes. So the first one is Sravanam. Okay. So the most important activity is to purify the mind. Mind and heart, one and the same. So basically, where our emotions live, where our thoughts live, it's not intelligence. Intelligence is brain. Mind means basically where we have all our priorities, what we really want to do, all those things, desires, and so on. So purifying the mind. So the whole process begins with purifying the mind. And the starting point for purifying the mind is the holy name. The focus is on the word name. the holy name, nama, not the form, not the qualities, not the pastimes, specifically the holy name of the Lord. That is what purifies the mind, or it begins to, the beginning happens with the name of the Lord. And then once there is purification or some purification of the mind, by hearing the holy name, one should continue forward to hear the Lord's form, qualities, associates like devotees, pastimes, and so on. So all these things, the form of the Lord. So when there is perfection at the stage of hearing, like in the case of Parikshit Maharaj, at the stage of perfection, these things, not things, but I wouldn't say things, but these objects of our bhakti, which is Nam, Roop, Guna, Charita, Adi, they manifest in one's heart. Okay, the Sanskrit word there that is used is sfurti. So the sfurti happens in the hridaya, hridaya sfurti. These things manifest in the heart. So actual manifestation of the pastimes occurs in the heart. And that is why we see so many of our wonderful great acharyas write so many new things about the pastimes, which are not in Bhagavatam. For example, Bhagavatam has 90 chapters. 10th canto has 90 chapters. And our, wonderful acharyas have written so many more aspects. This happened and that happened and that happened. So one can say they are just imagining. Are they just like, what is that name? Rowling, J.K. Rowling. Just imagine something and write Harry Potter? Absolutely not. They have perfected the process of Shravana and Kirtana. And therefore, these pastimes have manifested in their heart. And then they're writing about it. And still the pastimes are unlimited. Unlimited pastimes. It is said that the pastimes are more unlimited than the Lord. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. There is a beautiful song, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Means that the Lord is unlimited. Ananta, the Katha of the Lord is even more unlimited. So the pastimes are so unlimited that all the devotees, if they perfect this process, newer and newer pastimes will manifest inside the heart. Of course, I have no experience of it, far from it. I'm just repeating what I'm hearing. At least theoretically, I can get an understanding of what may be in store in a few 100,000 lifetimes for me. So, but that is the end goal, or that is the end result. And another important thing, it also matters. Now, the pastimes are definitely powerful themselves, wherever you hear from, whoever's mouth you hear from. But there is great power and bliss in hearing from the mouth of great devotees. Who is speaking the pastime also matters. Okay, so therefore, if a great exalted devotee is speaking the pastimes, one should make extra effort to go here. It's not like, oh, I have heard this pastime from someone, so I know the pastime. It's not about the pastime. I mean, it is definite. I shouldn't take it. I take it back. It is about the pastime, but add to it who you are hearing it from. So if it is the same pastime, but you are getting to hear it from an exalted devotee, run for it. Run for it. Okay. And the devotees, and the beauty of the Sravanam is that devotees who have a taste for hearing enjoy the highest bliss. The bliss in hearing is the highest for them, according to their taste. They will not find that bliss in any of the other 8 processes. Like we said, in the previous one of the slides, right? That depending on their ruchi and shraddha, they enjoy certain kinds of one of those processes. So those who have a taste for hearing, there is nothing more enjoyable for them than hearing the pastimes from great devotees. Okay. So What to hear? So, okay, we said Nama, Rupa, Guna, Charita, Adi. So, what to hear? So, two things, two categories. One is bhakti literature composed by great devotees, by acharyas, by our gurujanas, by great devotees. Whatever bhakti literature that they have composed, we should hear. Okay. Another thing is, the next is bhakti shastra. Shastra means the shruti and smriti, the official shastra from the mouth of great devotees. So two things, composed by those great devotees. There could be their own compositions, or they could be the repetitions or expansions, elaborations, etc., by the great devotees of the existing shastra. Both counts. And the topmost among all of these is Srimad Bhagavatam, the absolute topmost. So among all of this, there's a categorization also kind of given. The topmost thing is to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of great devotees. That is like the, kind of what you call, like all the full deluxe offering. Okay. So, like in India, if you go to restaurant, they will say, you want this or this or this. Then you say, I want all. So I don't want to choose. I want this topping or that topping, that topping. On ice cream, they'll say, give me all the toppings. So that is the situation. Bhagavat Purana, hearing from the mouth of the great exalted devotees, is the best. Why is that so? Why that is the case about Srimad Bhagavatam? Why it is the topmost? Because it is extremely potent and powerful. The Bhagavatam itself is full of spiritual power. It has the capability to pierce one's heart and install or place bhakti in one's heart. Bhagavatam has directly been spoken by the Lord. So, Hridayadi Kavaye. So the first verse itself, it is mentioned that it has been spoken directly by the Lord. It is the Brahma Samhitam. Brahma Samhitam means it is the literary incarnation of the Lord himself. And it is Parama Rasamaya. Rasamaya means it is very, very relishable. The topmost relishable thing is Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are the few reasons that are given why Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost shastra that one should try to hear. Few more things. One should never give up hearing. Even if one is engaged in some other processes, one should continue hearing as much as possible or repeatedly. One should never stop this process of hearing. There is no end to hearing. If one is engaged in kirtanam, obviously you will not close your ears. So hearing is included within kirtana. So a kind of a simple and stupid point is, don't close your ears and do kirtan. As long as you don't do that, you are hearing anyway. So hearing should never be stopped. One very nice point is hearing from like-minded exalted devotees. Like-minded exalted devotees. It is known as Sa-Jatiya Mahanubhava. Mahanubhava means great exalted devotees. Sa-Jatiya. It is not now Jatpat or some caste and creed. Not that. Sa-Jatiya means like-minded. Now you can see even today, there are so many nice devotees. Some are engaged in just, kirtan or, big various types. Some are engaged in, Bhagavatam. Some are engaged in some kind of management, GBC activities, blah, blah, blah. They have their various sort of things that they like. So they are all nice, very Mahanubhav devotees. Okay. But among them also there is colors and shades, and no color is bad or good, but there are different colors. So it's not like one is better than the other. You select associating with those exalted devotees who are sajatiya. Then there is more taste, more relishment. So like-minded means what? Who have a taste in the like-minded seva. Any of those 9 processes, they're all seva. So whoever is like-minded, associating with them and hearing from them. Now one can ask, why is Sravanam the first one? It is definitely the first one, and it should not be avoided. That was the first point. Sravanam should always accompany the whatever other processes. It may not be the primary one, but it should not be absent. Because without Shravanam, one cannot realize the tattva of the other limbs. It's very important to realize the essence, the meaning of the other limbs. So to understand that, some level, at least to understand the specifics, the rasa, the gudha rasa, the essence of whichever limb you are attracted to, try to understand it. And how will that understanding come? Through Shravana. Okay. So Shravana is important, at least to the extent that it gives us the realization of the tattva of the other limbs and the limbs that we are interested in, that we are attracted to. And then one may ask, so Sri Jiva Goswami has given, final, what you call, plan B, plan C. This is plan A, whatever we discussed. What if exalted devotee is not available to hear from? Okay. Now in the modern age, that is not the case. Nobody can say it is not, the association of great devotees is not available. Now it does not mean physical association. Even virtual association, offline association is also counts as association. So many people who were with Srila Prabhupada, in the 70s and 60s, and later on in the 90s, 2000s, and now when they hear those lectures, it may not have the same exact effect as when they were sitting in the room, but it still has, 70-80% effect. I can say that for myself. When I hear some of these, I have not heard all of Srila Prabhupada's lectures. I have heard many. They are the most piercing. It's like he comes with a surgical knife. He knows where exactly to cut. He just pierces through the message. It goes right in. Even it is through the recordings. So there is effect hearing from, and because he's an exalted devotee, not that he knows he's a skilled orator. He is who he is. He is a Jagat Guru. He is a Param Acharya. So my point is, even online, offline hearing also is potent. But if such a devotee is not available, then to chant along with, and chanting includes hearing with other like-minded devotees, we should do that. And if nobody is available, you do not have an exalted devotee to hear from, and you do not have anybody else to sit down and chant with, then as a last resort, do it alone. Okay? Hekla cholo hai. So go it alone. So one can do it alone. So that is about Shravana. Okay, so we will go to the next one, which is a very important one, which is Kirtanam. So, especially for Kaliyuga, Kirtan is the most important. It is the best one. Okay, so it is best among the 9 processes for Kaliyuga. So the important part is for Kaliyuga. Just now we said all 9 are equal. Now it is not being said that, oh, this one is best. They are all equal, but this one is best. That's not, so there's no contradiction. For Kaliyuga, this is best. Not because of some other aspect of Kirtana, but because of our situation in Kaliyuga. How we are more, we stand, who we are in Kaliyuga, the people stand to benefit the most in general through Kirtana for the 99% people, because there is a general quality of the masses in Kaliyuga. Now, it may be possible that there are, 1% people in Kaliyuga who may benefit more from one of the other processes. So it's not like a law of gravity or something like that. No, it's not like, there are no exceptions. There definitely could be exceptions. Okay, but generally, the best process is Kirtanam. So this is a quote or verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, 4th chapter, 70th and 71st verse, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving his instructions to Sanatana Goswami. And he is saying that engage in Kirtana. So I will try to sing this. It's a simple one. Bhajanera madhye shrestha navavidha bhakti Krishna prema Krishna dite dhare mahashakti Tara madhye sarva shrestha nama sankirtana Niraparadhe nama laile paya prema dhana. So the translation is, among the ways of executing devotional service, so bhajanera madhye, among, madhye means not in the middle, but among all of them, shrestha, the 9 processes that are described, the best one is, the shrestha is, for these processes, so wait. Sorry, so this one is saying that, the first verse is saying that, among all the processes of bhajan, these 9 processes are the best. So the first verse is establishing the significance or the superiority of these 9 processes, the Navadha Bhakti. So bhajanera madhye shrestha navavidha bhakti. So among all the processes of bhajan, this navavidha bhakti is shrestha, is the best. So among the ways of executing devotional service, the 9 prescribed methods are the best. For these processes have great potency to deliver Krishna and ecstatic love for him. So through these processes, we can attain Krishna and love for Krishna. Krishna prema, Krishna dite dhare mahashakti. That is that much mahashakti, power in this Navadha Bhakti, that it can give us Krishna and Krishna prema. Tara madhye, next line. Within these 9, sarva shrestha nama sankirtana. So among those 9, the best is nama sankirtana. What kind of nama sankirtana? There is an adjective added to it. Who can detect?
Niraparad.
Niraparad. Very nice. Niraparad nama laile paye premadhan. So upon taking the holy name in a niraparad, offenseless way, one can get prema dhana. So Srila Prabhupada has translated, of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is to always chant the holy name of the Lord. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kind of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Okay. So, and the 10 offenses we have covered in a great detail in a separate series. So you can go and look at that. But we can just list it or read it in a later slide. But avoiding those offenses, so which means offenseless chanting, which is also known as Nam Abhas chanting. So there's the lowest level, which is Nam Aparadh chanting. So chanting can be done even if you're committing some of the offenses. It's okay, continue. The best, not the best, the better one is without the offenses. So you're only removing the offenses, but still there is no love in the chanting of the name. At least the offenses are not there. That is second level, which is called Nama Abhas. And then the third and highest level is Shuddha Nama, which means one is chanting with a completely pure heart. We will cover that shortly. Okay. So, purifying the mind, like we said in the previous slide, or here, in the beginning, purify the mind by hearing the holy name. So let us go into seeing what is the meaning of purifying the mind. So, can somebody, let's have a little bit discussion instead of just a monologue. What does it mean by purifying the mind? Some specifics. Anyone? Very nice. Getting rid of anarthas. What are anarthas? Let me ask that. What would one call as anartha? Very nice. And why should we get rid of anartha? So what if it is there?
We cannot focus on the Lord.
We cannot focus on the Lord. Okay. Shamlila Mataji.
Prabhuji, the best platform for Krishna Bhakti would be to come in mode of goodness. So once we can get rid of anarthas, we would be able to come in the mode of goodness, and that would aid with the bhakti. Very nice. Very nice. There's no much wrong answers. Okay. So I'm just trying to, make you think. Anything else?
More attracted to Krishna's name and Krishna because it's a practice and
Very nice. Develop attachment and attraction. Very nice.
Focusing and concentrate.
Focusing and concentrate. Okay. So the ability to focus and concentrate, you're saying. Purifying the,
Yeah.
the question was, what is the meaning of purifying the mind?
Yeah, ability to, yeah.
Okay. Now with the impure mind, there is also a lot of focus on an impure mind, by an impure mind. You can focus very nicely on impure things. So what being said is changing that focus from impure things to Krishna, and or changing the focus from anarthas to Krishna. Yeah, very nice.
ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वम, that is the best way. सबको ईश समझ करके देखना, दिमाग, mind, it will purify the mind.
Okay. Ability to see everybody as a spiritual entity rather than with their bodily designations. He is my friend, he is my enemy, he likes me not, all those kind of things. Okay, very nice. So let us go into, so we have all actually covered the next slide. So where is that one? Purifying the mind by Kirtanam. So what did we say? Chanting of the holy name, Nama Kirtan, not Roop, not Charita, not Guna. Specifically the name, Nama Sankirtana, purifies the mind. Okay. What does it mean to purify the mind? So like all of you, I think we covered all these points. Washing away of the lust from the mind. Lust means what? Lust. So these are called as anarthas. Washing away of the anarthas. And lust for what? So somebody said, I can't remember, pride, ego, whatever those things. Ultimately, it is lust for, and somebody said mode of goodness. So that is artha and kama. Also dharma. Lust for dharma is also a lust. Okay, it is at a material level. That is Arjuna's situation in chapter 1. He was being very dharmic. Dharmic means even higher than Kshatriya dharma, which is purely, very fixed in mode of goodness, forgiveness, and no sinful activity and all that. So he was even above what is the Kshatriya dharma, which is justice. He has done a wrong thing, he need to be punished. So even going above that highest sort of material level of dharma, of kshama, forgiveness, and all those things, papa and punya. So that is also called at a very high level. It is also a dharma, a lust for dharma. And finally, even moksha. And that moksha aspect is definitely very, very strongly in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. That our acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Shri Krishna himself, and our acharyas, like his primary disciples, Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, and all their followers say, moksha is also a kind of lust. So, washing away all these desires from the mind, because these take us away from Krishna. Okay. And if the mind is disturbed, the problem is when the mind is disturbed or attracted due to these anarthas, then the Lord's form does not manifest in the heart. Like we said, Hridaya Sfurti. When the heart is completely cleaned, then the name, the form, the pastimes also manifest in the heart. Like you said, the acharyas write down the pastimes. How will the pastimes manifest in a heart where there is anartha? So anartha need to be completely removed for all these to manifest in the heart. So the first purpose of Nama Kirtana is to obviously to clean the heart, but ultimately to manifest the rupa, the form in the heart. That is where it starts, the form. Then come the pastimes next. Okay. So at the very least, for the form to manifest in the heart, that is the purpose of Nama Kirtana. So how should one do Nama Kirtana? One should do Nama Kirtana in a humble mood. That is the most important criteria for Nama Kirtana. This is the third verse of Sri Shikshashtakam. Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishruna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. So trina means a small blade of grass, small piece of broken straw. Okay, a broken straw. A grass also a little bit stands straight. Broken grass is like even lower than the straight grass, correct? So like a straw on the street, on the broken grass, everybody walks on it. Even the ant will walk on top of it. So it is the lowest guy. So like that, considering oneself to be even lower than that straw, no mana. And then Trinadapi sunichena, even lower than that, sunichena, niche means below, sunichena, taroriva sahishnuna, then tolerant like a tree. Tree is very tolerant. Cow is tolerant, but if you beat the cow too much, ultimately it may also, at least kick you back or something. Sometimes we have heard the stories when the milkman is milking and then he gets one, sometimes once in a while, gets a whack if the cow is agitated. But the tree will never retaliate or do anything. Taro riva sahishnuna. So it is a very sahanshil, very tolerant. Amanina. Amanina means not expecting any mana. Amanina means amanina. I don't want any mana. Mana dena, to give mana. So not expecting any, but giving full man to others, full respect and this thing, but not expecting any. These are very, very high levels, extremely high levels. And there can be 1,000 questions. What if he does this to me? What if he does that? Will I appear weak? What will people say? This, that. This is at a different level, okay? This is not at anything at our level. None of the self-help books, none of them will be able to explain this high level of tolerance and humility. Okay. This is even more than, if one slaps you on one cheek, put the other one. So, it's even higher. It's even more than that. In that mood, one should do kirtana, kirtaniya sadahari. It is possible to do it in that mood, and one should try to achieve that mood to do the kirtana. So that's a very essential, mandatory requirement for kirtana. And then audible, kirtan means audible. If it is not audible, it goes in the category of smarana. So kirtan by definition is audible. One of the benefits of kirtan is that you get to listen. Plus, many of the animals, they cannot do kirtan, but they can listen. So if nobody does kirtan, how will they do? How will they get the benefit? So, and they may not listen through their ears, but through the sound vibrations, they can listen. Okay. So animals, trees, plants, whatever. So we must do kirtan in an audible way, all the small insects. And then without committing the 10 offenses. The first offense among the 10 is, we'll just touch upon one. You all know the 10 offenses, many of you. The first one is Vaishnav Aparadh, offending devotees of the Lord. So we'll talk about that one. And that is a very, very serious and the number one offense. So again, going back to this point of kirtana being the best process, especially in Kaliyuga. Okay, this statement is meant for Kaliyuga. So why is it best for Kaliyuga? So why is kirtan best for Kaliyuga? No, I should have actually asked some. Maybe I can ask it since you may not have read it so fast. I'll hide it. So let us see what is why kirtan is so nice for Kaliyuga. Any discussion? Anybody? Why is kirtan so highly recommended for Kaliyuga? Yeah.
Because you can do it at any time. Like even if you're like walking down the street or like even if you're
very nice. Very nice. You cannot do Shravana. For Shravan, there is dependency on kirtana. But Smaran you can do. But Shravan you cannot do. At least you have to yourself do some kirtan for you to do Shravan. Okay. So kirtan is the one which is what is called has no prerequisites. Like my kids are going to college, so they are selecting courses. So they have to select courses which have the no prerequisites or whatever. So always this prerequisite. So Shravan has a prerequisite. So it is a second year class, not a first year class. So the first one is, which has no prerequisite, is Kirtana. Very nice.
Multiple senses are engaged.
Okay, multiple senses are engaged. Very nice. What else?
All jivas around you, including you.
Yes, it not only benefits us, it benefits others also. Very nice. Anything else on Zoom?
It's easy and doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, so both are saying easy. It is much easier to do.
It sounds good, so you try to do it.
The musical form sounds good. Yeah.
Conditioned souls and still, want to do things which we like to do.
So I'm assuming that had the aspect of the musical aspect of Kirtan, and music is, everybody likes music. So yes, yeah.
You can help multiple people if you're singing. Other people can do Sravanam.
Correct. Yep, that's true. Somebody, yes, Mataji.
Because the Krishna is easily accessible through the holy name. It's very merciful, and because Kaliyuga, everybody has short lives, and it's easily accessible. So you can easily
But how is that as a distinguishing factor compared to other processes for Kaliyuga? What is the essence of what you're saying? I mean, all those are good points.
Focus very well and they have short lives. So
So it helps to focus better.
we access the movie and the other.
Okay, very nice. Somebody else was saying?
It's just what I think. I think like although we sometimes get distracted, like in Sravanam, it is possible like you are smaranam. It's easy to distract your mind, but in Kirtan, although you get, but as all other devotees are around, they are doing Kirtan, it's easy to come back to the same.
Because we are doing Kirtan, there is a sort of a continuous something external which brings our mind back. Very nice. So let us look anything on the Zoom or we can go forward.
So
We have
Prabhuji,
heard that Shabd Brahma hai. Shabd Brahma hai. So whenever we chant, we do the Kirtan, it reflects in enormous reflection with the more in the cosmos level. So we are benefited, we not only we, but all the jivas, they are being benefited wherever they are,
Okay,
That is the
very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Jigna Prabhu or Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the person who is not literate, but the illiterate people can do chanting easily instead of reading, who can't read. So,
Okay. So those who cannot read can do chanting of the holy name.
yes,
Very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Ananya Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, so I think it uplifts our mind sometimes, and it is the easiest, fastest, and joyful way to, remember Lord and singing the glories of the Lord. So.
Okay, very nice, Mataji. Thank you. So all those points are very nice and they are more or less covered already, or we covered it more points than what I have put in the slide. So these are some of the points that acharyas bring out, and everything else that we discussed is also applicable. So in Kaliyuga, people are bereft of good qualities. Like we said, 99, there may be exceptions, but most people are bereft of good qualities, activities, mentality. For some of the other processes that we will see later on, we will see that there are some prerequisites. There need to be some level of regulation, some level of good qualities, some level of good activities, good habits, etc., needed to be able to do those processes like Archanam. That is one of the most detailed ones that our acharyas have spoken. And for that, it needs a lot of prerequisites. And you cannot just go and start doing worshipping the deity. But for Kirtanam, there is no such, does not require any qualifications like prerequisites, no qualifications needed. Anybody can do. And the reason is because the holy name personified, which is known as Nama Prabhu, is the most compassionate. And he is most compassionate, especially on the fallen people of Kaliyuga. You might have seen that, in a game also, sometimes those who are the compassionate people, they try to cheer for the team that is losing. So like the underdog, what do you call underdog or something, out of kindness. Nama Prabhu is like, very kind, and he is especially kind towards the fallen people of Kaliyuga. He has special place in his heart for the fallen people of Kaliyuga. So those are some of the reasons. Then there are some other deeper reasons. Is that Lord Sri Krishna himself performed Sankirtana as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he performed or he glorified this activity of Nama Sankirtana. There is no other instance where the Lord himself is performing any of the 9 devotional processes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown, by his personal example, Lord Sri Krishna has shown that one should engage in Nama Kirtana. And it is the officially designated process for Kaliyuga. It is the Yuga Dharma as per the Shastras. So for Kaliyuga, it is the officially, there are among those 9 processes, others are designated as other official processes of various yugas. We will see that shortly. So the official one is given as Nama Sankirtanam. And therefore, all the 8 processes should be accompanied by Kirtanam. Now, there is a misconception that is Kirtan only for Kaliyuga? Definitely, Kirtan is the best for Kaliyuga, but does it mean that it is not applicable for others? That is a misconception. The answer is no. So acharyas clarify that that is not the case, that Kirtan is only for Kaliyuga. All 9 processes are spiritual. They are all equally potent in all ages. Our situation is such that we don't have those prerequisites. Like in a college, anybody can take a class. The class will give the same benefit to whoever takes it, but you need to have the prerequisite to enroll for it. It is our problem that we do not have the prerequisites, not the problem of the process of this bhakti. Okay. So all processes are equally potent, and they are all beyond all these material considerations of time, place, and circumstance. Desha Kala. So what is Kaliyuga? Kaliyuga is a time scale. It's just on the time dimension. So these processes are independent of Desha and Kala, time and place and circumstance. So how can we say that Kirtan does not apply to other ages? All of these processes can lead to the Param Sadhya. Param Sadhya means the object which we are aspiring for, which is Krishna Prema and Krishna Seva. So that is our objective, and all these processes can lead to that. So before we end, let us quickly look at the types of Kirtan. Some people said the musical aspect. That is one of the aspects. That is what is known as the Gita Gana. So I have given the Sanskrit terms here as well. So one is Pathan. Pathan means just studying the scriptures. Pathan. Then Katha means discussing. So Pathan can be done individually or it can be done as a group, but we just group reading we call it. We can call it. So studying or reading. Discussing, elaborating, question answers, those kind of things. That is known as Katha. So that is another flavor of Kirtana. Okay. Then there is reciting of the scriptures, that is known as Gayana. To recite the scriptures. Then there is reciting the prayers and the hymns. So there are certain stuti or certain prayers that are there, which can be sung in a congregational way in a musical tune, that is known as Gita Gana. But if done in those same stutis, if done in a prayerful mood, that becomes like a stuti. It could be done softly, or it could be done even individually. So when one is doing a prayer, it's not generally in a musical tone or a musical tune or something. It's that is called as the technical term for that is stuti. So what we were referring to as that is the Gita Gana. And that is one of the ways of doing Kirtanam. Okay. So there are these 5 ways that one can do Kirtanam. So let us now look at a few verses, which is very, very important for that glorify Kirtan as the most beneficial process in Kaliyuga. Okay. So for Kaliyuga, Kirtan is very, very important. Yes. No, to read. When you are reading, you are speaking. Yeah. So Shravana is included in that unless you are reading and closing your ears. This is a specific act of reading. That is Pathan. Okay. Reading in the mind, like you are reading in, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a very, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we read a book, we don't make a sound while reading the book, but reading by reading, audibly. So that would be reading the scripture. So, but you read a scripture, that is the point. The focus more is on the scripture part and audible. You may not read a song. Yes, you can read the song to understand the meaning of the song, but scripture is meant to be read and the song is meant to be sung. Okay. So there are two verses. Now, there are many verses in the scriptures that glorify Kirtanam. Okay. There is no problem in that. Not no problem, but there are many more. Here we are not only talking about Kirtan, mind you. Here what we are talking about, an additional clause. Kirtanam in Kaliyuga. That is what we are talking about. All right. There are many more verses that simply glorify Kirtanam. But the special emphasis we want to create or understand is the importance of Kirtan, especially in Kaliyuga. So that is the focus of these following verses. So let us chant these verses. These are some of the very most important verses in the scriptures. So we have 3 verses which our acharyas themselves have pointed out. So let us just end by chanting these 3 verses. So the first one is, these are the last 2 verses in the 3rd chapter of 12th canto. So towards the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Bhagavatam is about to end, and right after this verse, Shukadev Goswami leaves. He says, this is the end of Bhagavatam, and he leaves. And then in next few, 1 or 2, soon after, Parikshit Maharaj also is bitten by the snake, and he also leaves. And then few more chapters glorifying the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam ends. So this is towards the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the conclusion of the Srimad Bhagavatam is to be understood from here. So Shukadev Goswami is saying to King Parikshit, so please let us recite this. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan,
dosha nidhe rajan,
asti eko mahan gunaha,
astiya eko mahan guna,
kirtanadeva krishnasya,
kirtanadeva krishnasya,
sangha param vrajet.
mukta sangha param vrajet.
So what this verse is saying is that Kaler dosha in Kali. So the word Kali is there. So this verse is talking about Kali Yuga. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. Nidhe means an ocean, a big reservoir, big tank or reservoir or ocean. So Kaler dosha nidhe. Kali Yuga is like a big tank, big reservoir or a big ocean of dosha, of faults. Everything is wrong in Kali Yuga. There's nothing good in Kali Yuga. Okay. Rajan, my dear king. Asti hi eko mahan guna. There is one great thing about Kali Yuga. Everything else is bad. One great thing. What is that one great thing? Kirtanad eva krishnasya. Simply by doing kirtan of who? Krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. With all these entanglements of the material world, one can get detached from mukti, disentangled from that, and param vrajet, one can be fully victorious. Victorious means in the war against, not war against hunger or poverty, war against maya, war against the material world, which is the cage or the entanglement of the material world. So could somebody read the translation, please? All right, in the room, we will have Nivan read the translation. Loud, clear. Oh, come here, quick, run. Louder.
My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be plummeted to the transcendental kingdom.
Very nice. Thank you. Then we will see the official. The next verse is talking about the official designation of Kirtana, Hari Kirtan, as the official process among the 9 for Kaliyuga. For other yugas, there are other processes. So, Krita means the Satyuga. That is the Krita Yuga. So we'll recite. Krite Adhyayato Vishnum
Adhyayato Vishnum
Etayam Yajato Makhaihi
Tretayam Yajato Makhai
Vapare Paricharyayam
Dvapare Paricharyayam
Kalau Tad Harikirtanat.
Lau Tat Har Kirtanat.
So if you can see here, in each line, one of the yugas is given and the official process is given for that yuga. So Krite is Dhyayato Vishnum. Okay, so you have to do Dhyana, which one it is among the 9? Smarana. Very nice. So Dhyayate, you have to put your mind on Vishnu that is the official process for Satyuga. Tretayam Yajato Makhaihi, by doing the various processes of sacrifice of the Lord. So which one that is? No, Archanam is next. So in this, it is said the various processes which include as Pada Sevanam. Okay, you serve the Lord through various activities like serving his lotus feet. Dvapare Paricharyayam. So now you are getting a little bit away. You cannot directly access the feet. So you have to do worship of the deity of the Lord. Paricharyayam is Archanam, offering worship to the deity of the Lord. That is for Dwapar Yoga. Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. So the benefits, Tad means that same benefit. So there are the various benefits. Whatever benefit is obtained, the benefit is not mentioned here. But Tad means whatever, you have to understand it as whatever benefit was obtained in Satyuga by Dhyayato, in Treta Yuga by Yajato Makhaihi, by Paricharyayam or Archana in Dwapar Yuga, Tad means that benefit is obtained Kalau in Kaliyuga by Hari Kirtana. Okay. So somebody read on Zoom, please, the translation.
Yeah. Whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapar Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kaliyuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
All right. So last verse, this is not from Srimad Bhagavatam, but another very important verse from Brihad Nada. Oh, where did that go? It's not there. Oh, right here. Brihad Naradiya Purana. So please repeat. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam.
Hare Nama, Hare Nama,
Nama Kevalam.
Kalau Nastyaiva, Nastyaiva, Nastyaiva Gatiranyatha.
Hello, Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyatha.
Thank you. So 3 times there is focus. So which means anything important you have to say repeatedly. You know, with all those who have children, you don't say once. You say many times, then they will do, right? Diti? So you have to tell many times. So we are all like, you know, like in Kali Yuga, we are like children because our intelligence, what is the difference between child and adult? Maturity, right? So in Kali Yuga, we are all immature. We may call ourselves mature, but we are all immature. So we need to be told multiple times. So what is being told multiple times? Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Eva. Eva means only. Only means there is no other way. Only this way. So this does not, one should not, if the Eva is not there, you can say, okay, Harinam is one way. Maybe there are others. Eva means it is cancelling any other possibilities. This is the only way. That is why I think somewhere in the slide there was a point that all the other 8 processes should be accompanied by kirtanam. So even if you are attracted to any other process, kirtan should be part of it. Acharyas have written this. I have taken just the acharyas' writings and made it into PowerPoint. These are not my bullets. So don't think I have personally added this bullet. This is writings of acharyas in a PowerPoint format. That's what it is. None of it is my own additions to it. So eva means it is the only way. Nastyeva, and again there is no other way. So it is like a double, like you know, how much more can you be clear? Kalau. So Kalau means in Kaliyuga, nastyeva, 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 gatir anyatha. There is no other way out of Kaliyuga. Okay, so that is the meaning. So somebody in the room could please read. Okay, come. Loud. Take off the mask.
For spiritual progress in the age of Kali, there is no alternative. There is no alternative in the holy name. The holy name of Lord Hari.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay. So that is the importance of Kirtanam in Kali Yuga. Okay. One last bullet for today. It is so powerful. So remember we talked about offensive chanting, the 10 offenses, and the topmost one was Vaishnav Aparadh. So of course one should not do Vaishnav Aparadh, and it is very, very serious Aparadh, the most serious. But Nama Kirtan is so powerful that it can cure. Now, please mind you, it's a cure. It is not a antidote. There is a difference between antidote and cure. Antidote means like a vaccine. You all have had COVID vaccine. So what is the difference between cure and a vaccine? Vaccine means you won't get it. It's like a shield. Cure means what?
Cure means like 100% that it's not going to come in the world again and nobody's going to get it.
No. So what is cure? Anybody else? Yeah, you had suffered. You are suffering. Then you get cured somehow. Come out of it. You have fallen into the hole. Now you have to dig yourself out of the hole. Okay, that is cure. So it is not a antidote, but it is a cure. So it's not like, oh, that would be another offense. Oh, I will do Hari Kirtan and I can do Vaishnav Aparadh. And the Hari Kirtan will now protect me like a shield. That is a even bigger offense. Okay. So it's not an antidote, but it is a cure. So Vaishnav Aparadh is the most serious offense, and the only cure, the real sort of the cure is sincere repentance and service of the Vaishnava. But there may be situation where the Vaishnava is no longer present, whom you have offended. How do you go and repent? And he must forgive. You cannot just say, whether you forgive or not, here is my repentance. Thank you very much. I'm going. That is not repentance. You have to wait. And you have to continuously repent till he says, okay, fine, I forgive you, right? But if he's not there, then acharyas mention that doing Nam Sankirtan for a long time, not like, okay, little bit, half an hour done, for a very long time with the express intent to please the Vaishnava whom you have offended. So what it means is that if that Vaishnava, let's say, liked a certain place, or if he was preaching in a particular place, or if he liked a certain kind of people, you go and do Nama Kirtan over there according to his liking, his taste. If he was interested in any one of these kinds of Kirtan, there are these types of Kirtan, you do that type of Kirtan, not your type. Well, if you have committed Vaishnava Aparadh, you better be ready for the consequence. You know, you cannot choose I want the sweet medicine. No, doctor will say, no, sweet medicine is not available. You have to take the bitter one. You don't get to choose the medicine. Doctor chooses the medicine. So in this case, the Vaishnava, so with the express intent to please the Vaishnava, then it results in obtaining forgiveness for that aparadh. But the point is, Nam Aparadh is like that. It is like it takes time, it is hard, but it is the only cure for Vaishnava Aparadh, which is the topmost. That is the power. Vaishnava Aparadh, it works to cure you from that. So next is Smarana, which we will cover. We are out of time. We have many more left, but these two are most important, Shravana, Kirtana. So next few will go quickly. So next time we will do that. But next time we will have some sort of short presentations on the Saturday things by the devotees who are doing the Bhakti Shastri. So it's a nice chance for devotees to, also, read, prepare, and say something about the Shastras. And that is in fact one of the purposes of Bhakti Shastri. So we will do that, I think, for 1 or 2 classes. We'll see how many volunteers were there. I don't know. So then we will continue with these 9, finish this in 1 more class. And then we will start another beautiful book, Upadeshamritam. So we are going to start a new book. I just want to say that, so this is all part of the Bhakti Shastri series, the book Ishopanishad and then Upadeshamritam. So if any very seriously interested 1 or 2, 3 devotees want to join Bhakti Shastri at that point, they are welcome to join at the Nectar of Instruction level. But they should already be very serious and committed devotees, already following the 4 regulative principles, already chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Initiated or not initiated does not matter, but these criteria should be fulfilled. And they should be very, very serious and intentful on doing Bhakti Shastri. So they should have a taste for this study. So then you can talk to me. We will hold a little talk. I don't want to say like interview or something, but and then you may be able to join. So that opportunity is available. If nobody joins, that's totally fine. I'm already quite loaded with the current batch or the current set of students, and that will continue. But at this point, I'm open to taking a couple of very sincerely or seriously interested students, devotees who are fulfilling this criteria. All right, having said that, I will, any questions or comments? Okay, so thank you. Huh? Are you saying something?
I'm audible to you?
Yeah, you kind of. Please go ahead.
I just want to say something about Kirtanam and Sravanam, Prabhu.
Yes, go ahead, please. By all means.
Even the Srimad Bhagavatam ends with a very, very beautiful verse talking about Sankirtanam. The last verse of the last chapter of the last canto, Nama Sankirtanam, a beautiful verse. I just remember that particular part too.
Yes, in fact, I think I had it here, but I did not share that because it does not have the focus of the Kaliyuga. But you are absolutely right. Nama Sankirtana yasya sarva papa pranashanam pranamo dukkha shamanas tam namami harim param.
Yes, and about Sravanam, I remembered a verse about how to cultivate Sravanam, or what can increase the affinity to hear about Krishna. I think the second chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, they set of 8 verses, 1 to 14 to 1 to 20. And that's where one of the 16th verse is very famous. Bhagavatam or our Krishna is by sevana, by seva of devotee.
Yes, very interesting. So that whole chapter, second chapter of first canto.
Particular aspect too. Thank you.
You were breaking up a little bit, Prabhuji, but yes, the second chapter.
Of 8 verses, it's actually Sadhu Goswami actually very beautifully describes the process, what happens. So each verse result of the previous verse. What happens if you do this? Happen. And when if you do this, the next verse. It's a series of verses which cause and effect kind of very beautifully explains to 1 to 14 to 21. Thank you, too.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yes, the second chapter of the first canto is arguably one of the most important chapters of entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And it has a very strong focus on Sravanam and how to progressively do Sravanam. It also has verses, can be mapped to the stages, various stages of devotional service, starting from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, and so on. So Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prema. So thank you very much for sharing, Prabhuji. Anyone else? Anything? Yes.
Thank you for a wonderful class. It's really nice to hear what's the importance of Sravanam. My question is very basic. Like, because sometimes we use Nama Sankirtanam, sometimes we use Sankirtanam. Is there a difference between those two, or Nama Sankirtanam is just a subset of the actual?
Yeah. So the question is, what is the difference between Nama Sankirtanam and Sankirtanam or Kirtanam? So yes, one is the subset of the other, is the subset of the other. The superset is Kirtanam, which we discussed. Sankirtanam is when it is with somebody else, Sankirtanam. And Hari Parshad Prabhu explained when he came last year that scriptures say there need to be at least 5 more people. So, which means total 6. So if you plus 5 makes it Sankirtana. Less than that is something else. I don't remember exactly, but he gave a number. If you ask, okay, how much? Where do you draw the line? 3, 4, 50, 100. What is Sankirtana? He gave a number also. Okay. And then Nama Sankirtana, one can have Nama Kirtana also, but it is the specifically whether you Kirtana means it's a superset, but it is specifically of the name. Similarly, Nama Sankirtana is name Sankirtana. We will probably do today. I can see these instruments here. And if we sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is Nama. And we are more than 5 here, if you look around. So it will be Sankirtana. So that will be Nama Sankirtana. So that is the difference. Okay, one thing I forgot to share. Very, very sweet. Just very quickly, I will share. Where is the PowerPoint? So today is the, where did that go? Right here. So today is the appearance day of Sri Sadaputa Prabhu. So he is was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, very, very, very special disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And he was one of the founding members of the Bhaktivedanta Institute, which is an arm of ISKCON that is dedicated to sort of telling the world or showing to the world, who is very, very, scientifically oriented. Everything, science is everything. So science, people just bet their life on science. You all took the vaccine, whatever, it is made of science. What if it was poison? What if it made you, crippled? But you trust the science and you took it. So you bet your life on it, more or less, if you say. So science is very important. And he spent his entire life in showing the alignment of science and the Vedas, or our Vedic scriptures. So you do not have to choose between science and Bhagavatam. Both can be right. We do not understand how it all works today, but it does not mean that they are, Monday to Friday, you say, I believe science and I don't believe in Bhagavatam. Saturday, Sunday, you say, I believe in Bhagavatam and science can take rest till next Monday. So it is not either or, it is and. And he spent his entire life showing that how all these things could be possible. And there are so many unanswered questions, like where is Swargaloka? Where is Swarga? Which satellite, which telescope has seen Swarga? But we say it is there. How to understand that? So all those things, I just wanted to, so there is a series. So this was planned last year in the planning. I'm part of some of these Bhaktivedanta Institute discussions. And now they have initiated, today was the first thing, a series on of lectures on his books. So here is a website. Where is Zoom? So these are all the books that he has written in chronological. No, actually, this is not in chronological order, probably in some other order. But this book, Mechanistic and Non-Mechanistic Science, was the first book that he wrote. And there's a series that is being organized. Today was the first talk on it, on the introduction chapter. Next Saturday, there will be a talk. Saturday morning will be a talk on the chapter 1, which I have been asked to give. So I'll be talking, and it's open public. All these talks will be recorded and posted. One can also join on the Zoom for these as well. So, and there'll be a whole series, and it will take few years to cover all these books, one week, one chapter of each book. So he has written all these wonderful books, and that is what the Bhaktivedanta Institute is doing right now. And this is his website. It's called, no, not the Wikipedia. So it's richardlthompson.com. I think this is it. Yep. So Richard L. Thompson, that was his civil name. The name given by Srila Prabhupada was Sadaputa Das. So this is Richard L. Thompson Archives. His complete works, all his, I don't think the books are there because the BBT, those are available on Amazon.com. You can purchase it. It's like, they'll get some money out of it, which is good to sustain their activities. But all his other things, his papers, many letters, many things, this website is full of stuff about Sadaputa Prabhu if one is interested. So a lot of material is here. All his papers, all the essays that he wrote, everything is mentioned, is given here. Very, very, those who are interested in this side of things. So our great deep gratitude and respect to Sri Sadaputa Prabhu on his 76th appearance day. Sri Sadaputa Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so we will end here. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of his talks and all are available on that website.
Those are really amazing.
Yeah, all his talks, recorded talks, are available on that website, and they are also available on YouTube. We all are so, now used to YouTube. You can search for Sadaputa Das and all his recordings are there. Okay, sorry for going so long. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.